Welcome to the Madness Collective. Yeah, we did away with that countdown. Sorry. Adjustments. Hi, I am Crescent Mohammed. My co-host is Antoine. And hey, Antoine.
Hey.
Our guest co-host, Sarah, is back because we talked.
Hey, everyone. What up?
Keep some of this legal commentary together. We'll see. If you were tuning in for the first time, we recap the day's headlines on Mondays and Wednesdays and Fridays and at 7 p.m. And so, yeah, like us and subscribe. Okay. Thank you. All right. Tonight, Fani Willis, Queen Fani, clapback Fani. Get your facts straight when you're talking about me, Fani. Cannot wait. Trump is in the hole in New York, almost $500 million. This is hilarious. Update on transracial activist Rachel Dolezal. Y'all remember her? Right.
Yeah,
The GOP's FBI informant was arrested for lying to the Bureau because, of course, he was. DeSantis is trying to walk back at least one of his racist policies. Good luck. A little more info on how immigration can grow the U.S. economy. So not immigration can be good. More opportunities for student debt relief. Mississippi owes Alcorn State almost $300 million. And Peanuts is finally putting some respect on Franklin's name. I know that's right. Hi, welcome to the Madness Collective. So actually, and before we dive deep into the stuff, because it's a lot. So my mom has a documentary that was done about her. It not aired tonight, but they did a screening tonight. Obviously, I'm not there. I'm here. But she was nervous about it, and she called me. She said, it was awesome. And I said, did you say awesome or awful? Because I'm nervous. She said awesome. I was like, because I talked to her beforehand, and she was like, I don't know who said what. I was like, I actually don't even remember what I said. So, so on Monday, I'll give where it's going to air and how people can watch it. So, yeah. But yeah,
that is fantastic.
Yeah, it's pretty dope. Yeah, I'll provide more information, but I want to mention it tonight because she sounded so giddy, and she called me and she was like, "Your cousin Bridget did everything you would do," and I'm like, "Okay."
That's a good thing. Thank you, cousin Bridget.
No, seriously. No, she texted me. She sent me pictures. My cousin did. I was like, thank you. So there's a lot of family on hand. And I was feeling some kind of way about not being there, but I'll be there later in a couple weeks. So anyway, so yay, go mom.
You have an amazing mom. Can't be there for everything, it's tough.
Yeah. Rock star mommy. Mm-hmm. Okay, so like I said, we got a lot of topics to get to, but some couple main ones we really gonna spend some time on. But in the past, there would be one crazy story out of the week. Every day is a crazy story, but every now and then there's one that really just stands out. Just stands out. Okay, so this one, instead of snakes on a plane, how about maggots?
No, I didn't.
Or how to get free flights for life. Okay, So I'm just reading through some shit, and I'm like, I'm sorry, what does that say? So there's a Delta flight that was leaving from Amsterdam going to Detroit. And it's hard for me to actually even say this. It's gross, right? So you're sitting there, okay? And this guy says he saw this woman his person sitting next to him starts to freak out. And she's freaking out because there are maggots all over her and she is trying to fight them off. And I would have died right then and there. I'm passing out. I'm fucking passing out. So they figure out what the fuck is happening. It was some rotten fish wrapped up in a newspaper above her.
I just don't know
why people like that.
I just don't know how nobody noticed the smell, and I have a lot of questions because I don't think that that's necessarily a reason to turn the whole fucking plane around.
Nigga, no, I need to get off and be.
No, they were almost at the.
No.
They were an hour
what?
and a half.
They were only. They said the full flight was an hour and 49 minutes. So if they departed from Amsterdam and turned around and returned, and the full thing was an hour and 49 minutes, they were only an hour or less into the flight, and they had to turn around and go back. They weren't even very into the flight.
Well, they were going from Amsterdam all the way to Iowa, right?
Michigan.
To Detroit.
Detroit, Michigan.
Okay.
So it would be a long flight.
Yeah,
but you know what, Antoine? I felt conflicted about it though too, because it's I'm like Crescent. I was not maggots. I hear the word maggot and it's my whole body tenses up. I think about the whole life cycle, it's too much.
Life
It's
cycle?
way too much. Yeah, because they do the maggots, and then the maggots, they like lay eggs, and then they hatch, and it turns into the black flies, and it's just, the whole thing is so creepy. So it's like, yeah, and in that regard, you don't want that to happen on the flight. But I was like, I would be so pissed if I'm already like at least an hour out of Amsterdam. I'm on my way home. You've got a long flight ahead of you. And because some idiot wanted to wrap up old fish in a newspaper and stick it in their carry-on, now you got to go back. You got to wait a few hours, get back on, restart all over again. And it's like, I don't even really, honestly, real talk, I don't even want not rotten fish on the plane. Like, it's too much in an enclosed space. It's too much to smell.
100. Antoine, you were about to say?
Well, that's what I'm thinking, just in terms of you already anticipated being on a really long flight, and then I don't know. I just would have figured out somewhere to put the maggots until we got to the United States.
So for me, if I'm the woman with the maggots on me, I'm literally about to be stripped naked in the aisle. Like all the clothes are coming off. I'm sorry. Like I just if there's a maggot in my bra, like it's a wrap. Like I'm literally about to be insane.
I mean, but here's the thing, Crescent. You were gonna have to do that anyway. Where you just go sit there with the maggots while you flew back an hour. You were gonna have to do that anyway. So do that and then continue to the United States. Like, they turn planes around for anything now. Like, I would have been like, shit, get rid of the maggots and take our ass home. Like,
bag them up, stick them in some ice or something. I don't
know. I thought that was odd because it'd be one thing. Hygienically, it would be different if there was a bag of garbage, but the maggots were feeding on fish. So, that's different. I don't know.
But wait, y'all. It said it fell through like the air vents and shit from the overhead compartment. Like that is like it's gonna be hard my next flight, and I fly Delta all the time. Okay. And they're not ghetto, but it's gonna be really hard when I'm there and I'm putting the air on to be like, no maggots, no maggots, no maggots.
No. So I just Googled Amsterdam to Detroit nonstop. It's 9 hours, 15 minutes. See? And so if they were only like an hour and a half into that flight, we need to turn around. Like this, I can't. I'm not. I can't. No. Thank you. Jesus. Okay. Anyway, maggots on the plane. So I do hope that this woman is. I don't know what the compensation is about to be from Delta. Not that was Delta's fault, but I don't give a fuck. I don't know. I don't know what happens next, but I know at a minimum I'll be like, so I get to fly for free for the rest of my life, right? Yeah. Right. I'm with Danielle. That's gotta be a safety.
Yeah, Danielle, they took it back to clean the plane specifically too. Like they have to do it. There's probably honestly, Antoine, there's probably something in the regulations and stuff where it's like you have maggots or something else on the thing, like you got to go back. Like you can't just throw it in a bag.
I'm sure it's some sort of. I guess the way I was thinking is that y'all already on the plane. If y'all was go get something from the fish and the maggots, y'all already got it. So you might as well continue to the United States where you probably get the best health. Well, I won't say that anymore. That's not even true. So I don't know. I understand.
We gotta move on from maggots because I can't. I'm getting itchy.
I know my back feels itchy. Like everything feels funny.
Okay. So in Georgia, all right. So y'all know Fani Willis, Miss Fani Willis is prosecuting Trump and 2011 other people in a racketeering case, but interfering with an election, right? Because there's audio of him saying, "Find me 11,671 fucking votes," right? It's a very distinct number, okay? He's like, "Find me X number." There's audio of that. So allegedly, he committed election interference, okay? Allegedly, whatever, right? So they have been trying to get this woman off this case, at every turn. They pass 2 laws to try and get rid of her. They are right. These racist white folks who roll with Trump are going hard in the paint. So the latest. Go ahead.
They passed that one. Remember that was oh, we could impeach anybody anytime we want, no matter what. And then they did that, and then they were like, yeah, we're going funny. We're not going to impeach her.
I think it's literally 2 laws that got passed to try and figure out how to get her out of there. So wow. That didn't work. So now the latest is we talked about this I think a week ago or so, right? She hired somebody, Nathan Wade. They started seeing each other, sleeping together, whatever fuck. actually, and it's funny, I didn't even know it was over. This shit's over, okay? That shit ended last summer. Whatever. Okay. So other people got wind of it and they're like, oh, we can disqualify her because this was like a conflict of she got like an incentive financial interest, right? I'm gonna explain that a little bit more. But so what happens next is the judge decided to have a hearing, an evidentiary hearing, to hear this alleged conflict, so to see if there's enough information to disqualify this woman. I was not planning to pay attention to this, but I turned on MSNBC and they got cameras in the courtroom in Georgia. And Nathan Wade, when I turned on, Nathan Wade was on, right? So okay, just because I want to try and get some of the sort of like clear facts out first. So do you have to show unequivocally that there was an improper financial relationship happening? Nathan Wade is the guy that she hired. She hired him in 2021. I have this in front of me. She hired him after everything got started, and they started sleeping together after that. And then that shit ended. So what the opposition is trying to say is that there was a financial gain because they went on trips together, and those trips cost money. That's it, right? I mean, like that's the base of like
dinner. They dated like a normal dating couple, and so
they went to Aruba and they had some nice trips. Okay,
yeah.
So when Nathan was on, I was like, I'm a little nervous. Like I was like, okay, defense is asking questions. They're asking a bunch of questions that I'm just like, these aren't going anywhere. But I can see how this doesn't look great. And we've already said this. Mm-hmm. We have already kind of talked about. Yes, I wish she had not started sleeping with somebody who she was working with. Look, white folks looking for any lane, anything that they can figure out to be like, okay, this is what we can get you on. But at the same time, I am tired of us. I'm exhausted. I'm exhausted of us having to be fucking perfect. Like that shit's tiring. But here we are. Tiring. Here we are. Here we motherfucking.
No sex for you.
Okay, right. You gotta be a nun or you gotta be a monk or you gotta be the Huxtables, like whatever. Like that's just exhausting. Okay.
Well, especially with her, because you can tell, particularly, and you know, I guess we'll touch on it, but particularly when you see the testimony of her father and you see just her demeanor, she is she's high strung most of the time. I mean, it's because of the nature of the job, and you take the threats and things of that nature. So yeah, she always has to be on top of her P's and Q's. So I don't really fault her. This might be the only thing that she has faltered on in her entire fucking adult life. She's just a person that's on top of shit. So, so, you know, she's a human being. And considering the circumstances, I think we mentioned this before. It's like when you take all these death threats, you know, people trying to change laws to get you removed and all this other shit. I totally see how it could have happened. And, you know, when all is said and done, it ain't got shit to do with the motherfuckers trying to steal an election.
So, and what I said when we first talked about it was, look, it's a war. We all in the foxhole together. Like, he looking good. You know what I mean? Like, look, okay, like I need an outlet, right? Like I need a release. Okay. So it is what it is. Again, a lot of us collectively, the Black community, you know, we know how things are when we're in high pressure positions and all eyes are on us. We understand we should all operate a certain way. But again, that's just exhausting. Okay. So Nathan went first. Little concerns. Later half of the day. So Fani wasn't actually even supposed to come. Okay. She wasn't even supposed to like sit down in the chair. But
I'm going to throw some images up while you're talking. They're not going to be in order. It's just going to show some of the people that testified.
Okay. So she was like, yeah, fuck that. Y'all about to hear from me. Okay. Wait, who was that dude?
Crescent.
He worked for the firm, for Wade's firm that he was a partner in before he went and worked for Fani.
Okay, because there's the other dude that came like later today. That hoe right there. We gonna get to her. Sorry, wait. Were you about to ask me something, Sarah?
No, I was gonna say like when I was telling my sister about it, because I'm the same as you. I kind of like
that's her daddy.
We all knew it was coming, but it's like for me, like I got a lot going on. I forgot. And it's this, I'm like, does Crescent live here? Because I had the same thing. I woke up and all of a sudden Wade's on my TV on MSNBC and I'm watching this. And
I'm in.
Yeah. And I'm in. And
that's the girl. So, right. So she shows up halfway through the day and now it's on and popping. So she arguing with defense attorneys. She's raising objections. She making legal arguments. She said, look, my favorite part is when she said, y'all lied. You lied. She's holding up filing. She's holding them up. She's like, it's a lie. This is a lie. This is a lie. Yeah. The judge was like, look here now. Can you just not be like the lawyer? Oh, a couple of awesome quotes. She said, I'm not on trial, no matter how hard you try to put me on trial. She said, Miss Merchant, that's the defense attorney. Ashley, I don't like her. She's subpar. She's not good. Miss Merchant's interests are contrary to democracy, not to mine. And that's the other thing too. This was a hearing, right? Like, let's keep our eye on the bigger picture. This motherfucker tried to steal an election. Okay. So again, sorry, just the details. He was hired in 2021. The relationship started in 2022 and ended last summer, 2023. So one of the people that Antoine showed, that chick with and I'm like, is she already witness protection? The friend, right? So the former friend, former employee, sounds like a scorned hater to me. Okay. That lady was like, yeah, the relationship started before he started working with. Okay, bitch, we not cool no more. And also, what is it? Why is it that you are allowing these white people to like potentially derail this case? Why are you going with yourself in that? Like, that was confusing to me. Antoine, you look like
I have a couple things to say about this young lady. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So one thing I want to say is I'm standing on business. I'm admitting here that I have a prejudice.
Okay.
So if you walk out of the house and the thing on top of your head, you walking out into the public, and the thing on top of your head could not possibly match the potential hair that could grow out of your scalp. Now, it don't have to be in its natural state. Chemically treated, heat treated. If it can't match that, I can't trust anything that come out of your mouth because you make bad decisions.
Antoine, to that point, I got issue with not just the hair, but the glasses and the hair. Like, it's like not you. They're touching, and then what is that hanging? Are those earrings? Is that like
no? Those are the chains you have on the glasses.
That's just it. But at a glance, you wouldn't know the difference. So it's she's confusing. And I feel like if you understand Black culture, you cannot use a former friend as a reliable witness if they are of African descent, because
new evidence code
because of what has happened to us historically. We don't have much to begin with, so when a bitch tries to take something you already have, you want to get that bitch back. So you cannot rely. This woman wears bad wigs, and she's a former friend. She's not a reliable witness.
And not just a former friend, she's a former employee. And so they gave her the option of like, we can fire you or you can resign. And she chose to resign. But this all came about because she did something. Okay.
And the former landlord.
Oh, I didn't even see that. There's so many layers. There's so much information.
She literally rented. Okay, y'all see, because I got nothing but horribleness. I watched that. Okay, and I lost my train of thought before, but I told my sister, Fani appeared like an apparition in the courtroom. They didn't even expect her to come in. They weren't planning to call her team, and all of a sudden she was next to them. Like, it was like she just just appeared out of nowhere. It was crazy, but. Yes, I think she's getting paid or something. This former friend, but
so that's what I asked. One of the things that came up about that, Sarah, because I wasn't sure if they did ask her if she was getting paid for her testimony because I didn't see it.
Oh, they didn't. They didn't ask her that.
Oh, I thought somebody said they did ask her.
Well, I don't remember that, but what I do remember is that this friend had a condo, right? And while Fani's being threatened to people are threatening to kill her at her house and everything. And her friend, Antoine, I don't know who wanted to date her or what. Don't get into that. I don't know who, but she had found a man and she was going to be getting married or engaged or whatever. And she was moving in with the man and she needed like somebody to do something with her condo. And then here's Fani who needs somewhere to go because people are threatening her life. So it was just like a fortuitous thing where this person, she moves into the condo and she somehow like that chick could literally say, it's $1,500 this month, and she would just give her $1,500, and she didn't question it. She didn't ask for anything.
Fani moved into her condo.
Into that Bad Wigs condo.
Robin I don't fucking know her.
Yeah, her name's Robin.
Yeah. She moved into her condo. So she was also basically, it's like she was subleasing basically like the condo. Like this woman
point is
obviously has a grudge.
Right. Okay. And again, so Danielle asked, and a couple of us have been asking, like, because I was like, my question would have been on cross, who paid you? Right. How much were you paid? And then someone said that they did ask her that. I'm like, okay, well, and she said no. So then I would have been like, well, are you getting a check later? Like, literally, that would have been one of my questions. So, but for the defense, that was their key witness, because that's the only person they had who was saying, no, the relationship started sooner. Okay. So then we getting all this information out about like, so they take these trips, and Nathan says she would reimburse me, or she paid for stuff, I would pay for stuff, but if I pay for stuff, she would reimburse me in cash. Okay. So the way the defense attorney was like, in cash, what the fuck is that? Like, just reckless. And I'm sitting there like, y'all don't know Black people. That was one thing about this whole experience of the last 2 days. Non-Black people really do not understand how Black people live.
Well, here, to be fair, I don't want to act like Black people are the only people that do that. They're not.
Right, you're right.
But here's the other thing. We didn't even need to know that part.
Antoine, there's so much we didn't need to know.
Oh, no. What I'm saying is we didn't even have to take it that far. Understanding the optics of the situation in order for there not to appear to be some sort of impropriety, you don't want a paper trail in this situation because you're fucking your coworker. You're going to pay for it in cash. Well, that made more. I'm shocked that. I mean, I don't know if that came up, but if you don't want anybody to know about your relationship with said person because this is a high stakes trial, it makes sense that she paid for it with cash.
Honestly, Antoine, I didn't even think about that aspect of it.
That made more sense to me than anything else. Like, I'm not finna write you a check so there's a trail showing that we've been fucking and going on vacations and shit.
Well, first of all, nobody writes checks anymore, and that came up too. She laughed.
Right.
They asked her about writing a check. She's like, I ain't written a check in like fucking 4 years. Like, what are we talking about?
She said, I don't have checks.
Who does? I don't have checks. Like, what are we talking about?
Literally said
but what the emphasis on the cash part. So my first thought when it was said, I was like, okay. My actual initial thought was Black people do tend to be, and I'm going to just go ahead and say Black people.
It is more so than others. I would say that, yeah.
We tend to be private. We tend to not trust cash apps, Venmos, banks, right? Like, I mean, real talk. And then as you start to discover when she came on, especially when her dad came on, but she said first, she's like, my dad always told me I had 6 months of cash, 6 months of living of cash available, right? Like
salary or something.
Right, like just in case, especially Southern Black people. A friend that I was talking to the other day said her aunt always carried cash and a pistol in her bag. Okay.
Yes.
So and as that starts to come out, I'm just like, okay, y'all harping on some shit because this seems odd to you. But again, culturally, this is the thing that happens, right? And it's funny because then you also start to find out, he says, actually, it was a point of contention, which she validated. He said the only thing a woman can do for me is make me a sandwich. That's why they ain't together right now. Because she is like, you ain't about to be out here saying that I did this and that for you. She said, I don't need, quote, Willis, Fani said, I don't need anybody to pay my bills. The last man who ever paid anything ever for me was my daddy. Right?
Do we have any, is there any information on what their salaries are? I'd be curious to know what her salary is. Say again?
They talked about it in the testimony.
So what is her salary relative to his?
Well, I think that's part of what makes the whole argument from the other side so preposterous and what really got Fani so worked up. Like, I haven't talked to her, just to be clear, but this whole thing, I feel it's very conflicting to me because it's like, these are people who are family friends of mine, like I know Fani, I know John Floyd, like that was my dad's friend. These are family friends.
I love him.
Oh, I did not know that.
I love her father. Yeah. That's Papa Fani Willis. I love him.
When I was a little girl, like I feel like the first time I met Fani, I was like completely amazed by her. I wanted to be her. I thought she was like the coolest person ever. I hate to say it, and I hope they never see this. I can't even remember her sister's name. I was obsessed with Fani. I thought Fani was the coolest. I was like, I want to be Fani.
There's a sister because when they asked him how many kids he had, only said the one. He said Fani. She doesn't have a sister.
Sister or something, but it's like that's what I'm saying. In my mind, I'm like, who? So the thing is, it's hard for me because I see it from so many different perspectives. Like I see it as a Black woman, I see it as a lawyer, I see it as like, you know, somebody who knows them. Like as soon as she said that stuff about her dad, I was like, that sound like her dad to me. That sound like something he would say to me. Like I believe that 100%.
Wait. I want an answer to my question though. What is their salary? Yeah, what are the salaries relatively speaking?
So what her current salary as Attorney General of Fulton County is like over $200,000.
She's not Attorney General. She's not
AG of Fulton County, whatever. District Attorney. Sorry.
I was like,
DA, not AG. You know,
like,
whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
DA,
okay.
It's over $200,000. So the implication that she hired this dude so that she could then start a relationship with him and sleep with him so that she could get money through vacations when her salary is over $200,000, and before that she was doing even better.
What is his salary? Do you get where I'm getting at here?
No. That's what I'm saying. Let me say this. Today they had a former governor on there, Roy Barnes, right? Mm-hmm. He said two things. He said, one, I've already had a bunch of bodyguards. I don't want to live that way again. So, and the reason why he was talking is because he was like, yeah, they asked me first. I was like, I'm not doing that. Also, he said, I like making money. Again, he's like, this ain't going to pay enough. So whatever it is, this is not a position in which you about to come up and get a bunch of fucking paper. That's not what this is. So I don't actually know the number that's her actual number or his number, but it ain't something that's like, oh yeah, we about to be like fucking retire after this trial. It ain't that.
Also, I mean, for me, and I'm not a lawyer, this is what some of these things to me are just obvious. Typically, when a motherfucker hires somebody else, the motherfucker they hiring don't make more than the hirer. That's what I'm saying. He has to make less than her. So this is making absolutely no sense to me.
I think it's complicated because he's a special prosecutor too. And so that's one of the things that's complicated in all of it, because I feel like from their perspective, they would say he works for her, he's under her, but it's like, he's really a contractor. He doesn't work for Fulton County. That's the whole purpose of a special prosecutor. Okay. But I feel like the whole thing is honestly complicated. Like watching it for me was painful because honestly, like her attorneys clearly didn't expect her to take the stand. And I think it might've been better if she didn't. I mean, I know there's like a lot of great sound bites and all this stuff, but it was also like, you are the DA there, you work there, like you have to, like, if you're going to keep that position, you got to continue to be there. And you're coming in. I was like, why didn't John, her father, prep her for her hearing? Because I felt like he was like chef's kiss today. He was amazing.
I mean, again, sorry, y'all. We're going to be jumping around a lot because there was a lot of different layers and elements to this. But with regard to, because I have a couple friends, lawyers, actually a bunch of friends who are lawyers, but two who who commented on a post that I made. And one is a criminal defense attorney. Another one has been practicing for a long time, like Sarah. And a couple of them were like, yeah, actually, I wish she had not. I wish she hadn't also over answered is how I'm going to phrase it.
Yes. Right.
No. Right.
That's
Again, that is, as an attorney, even I remember this much. I spent like 2 years practicing and I was like, I'm done with this shit. But they tell you to answer the question you were asked, and that's it, right? Like,
don't give them anything more. Don't give them extra. Don't start doing random narratives.
I will say this though, Sarah, and to my friends, I get that. I do. But these motherfucking lawyers, the defense attorneys, are subpar. They're terrible. So a lot of their questions, they were very deliberately also trying to shape questions in a certain way. And her father called them on it. She called them on it. Her father was like, okay, so what are you trying to ask, this or this? Right? Like, and so in that
it wasn't making it for as a layperson watching. Because this is what I wanted to ask you guys. I guess maybe I'm spoiled by watching, maybe I don't watch too much How to Get Away with Murder. Everybody was stumbling, repeating questions. The people testifying had to repeatedly say, I don't understand what you're asking me. And the reason they had to ask was because the questions weren't making sense. It was a lot of stuttering. It just seemed like everybody was ill prepared. It seemed it was all over the place.
It was. Yeah. And the other thing I want to say about the extraness of the responses is, especially more so from Fani's standpoint. She is like, y'all are out here name. Y'all are out here questioning my integrity. Y'all are out here questioning my professionalism. I fucked him. Bet. Okay, and that ain't got shit to do with this motherfucker trying to steal this election. Nothing. Not nan fucking thing. This is a sham. This is bullshit. And that's the thing too, as women, y'all, it's funny because a lot of responses from other women, lawyers, not lawyers, whatever, were like, you know what? Yeah, speak up, say something. Men were like, oh, she came in hot. She shouldn't have been all this extra. And I'm just like, she mad. Be mad. Why the fuck can't we be mad? Like, they are out here trying to malign this woman. They are trying to get her disqualified from this case that she's been working on for how many years? So I wasn't mad at any of it. She was like, no, what y'all gonna do, what I'm gonna do since I'm here in this seat is you gonna hear all of the things. I'm gonna tell y'all about, her dad was talking about them writing nigger on the fucking house. Okay.
It was hard to listen to. I didn't know her father was 80. And when the father was testifying, as I watched the father's whole testimony and the former employee. It was interesting. Just everybody reacted differently to the questions. The father was very forthcoming. It seemed like everybody loved him. Didn't even want to ask him the questions. But at some point, the father started talking about a reverse mortgage. And I was sitting here going to myself, what the fuck does his reverse mortgage have to do with her fucking her coworker or motherfuckers trying to steal an election? There were so many spurious questions that just seemed
because they were trying to prove that he was in DC, so he couldn't have been living in Atlanta, so he couldn't really be a real witness to any of this stuff. That's what that crap was about.
Right. But they were like, do you own this house in DC? He's like, not anymore. And he'd already said, he was like, I was in Johannesburg for this period of time. Then I came to Atlanta. Here's when I got my driver's license. They're grasping at straws because they don't have a case. This is bullshit. They don't have a case.
This is my problem with it is as a black woman, I completely understand where she's coming from because it's not fun while people just constantly gaslight and tell lies on you. And also that you're supposed to sit in your office and not go there and defend yourself while people are literally coming for everything that you work for your entire life and trying to detract away from and deflect from what is really important. So I get all of that, but I feel like it's
Sarah, add to it. Death threats, they come from your family. Like she has been
She's been through it and in it and even before this with other stuff. So that part of it I get, but like for me as a lawyer, I felt bad for her team when she just suddenly showed up because they weren't like, you're surprised in all the defense areas, but you're surprised in your people too because they clearly weren't expecting you. And yes, she did say like way too much. And you guys are like, what's all the reasons they're asking stuff? Honestly, I can tell you a lot of reasons. One, they're trying to get more discovery. They clearly already filed certain motions and they're trying to get stuff that was either denied or was denied without prejudice or left open. And they are asking her certain questions and trying to get information so they can say, see, we need the cell phone records because she said she texted them back and forth.
Okay. I get what you're saying. That makes sense.
They're trying to get more.
Because if somebody mentions that, then it means they can question that and get the records, right?
Or they can try. Like they already tried and now like maybe they didn't get it. So now they're trying and that's why they didn't want her to get on the stand because she might open the door to stuff that's already been excluded.
Right now, from what I've seen, right now, she didn't open the door because again, she's smart.
Oh yeah, I don't see her doing that.
There was a lot of emotion there. Yes, but also honestly, Sarah, even her attorneys when they were during Nathan Wade's testimony, and I was listening to his defense, like his attorneys were saying, I was like, why don't you why are you not asking certain things? So even them, I'm like, so I'm sure Fani was like, no, I'm gonna come in here and address certain issues. Period. You want to do this? Let's go.
The other thing I want to add, the other question that I had, I feel like, and because she's smart, I think she knows what she can get away with this judge. This judge has given her a lot of leeway. And even when he told everybody to take a break, when she started telling people, don't yell at me, and, she essentially, he was like, we got to cool down. I feel like with a different judge, he would have a different judge could have reacted negatively to her rambunctiousness. You get what I'm saying? I think she
Y'all
read
gotta
the room
listen to me.
very well.
Y'all got to listen to me. I can read between the lines on what's happening in the hearing. I love Fani so much. She was this close to getting her testimony disqualified because of how she was acting.
I
She
can
was
see
this
that.
she
I can
she
see
was
that.
this close. When
I can
that
see
judge
that.
took that recess and they break for 5 minutes, and then they came back and there's all these things. As an attorney, I know exactly what's going on. That recess was the judge admonishing her for how she was acting. I believe over that recess, he gave Attorney Merchant permission to treat her as a hostile witness. And that's why when they came back from the break, certain things were different. And you heard him saying things like, you've already had one warning. I don't want to have to strike your testimony, because if she kept going, then he could say, you know what, that's it. You're not cooperating. You're being non-responsive to questions. I'm going to strike your testimony, and everything that you've testified so far is not going to be considered in this. That's where we were at.
I
So
can see
I
that.
understand. I don't like that little Attorney Merchant either, but I can't really sit here and say she's a shitty attorney. She doesn't, because she was the first one to go, which I think is probably because she might have filed the thing. These men didn't have to do anything today. They sat back while this little white woman attorney did all the stuff. And
Sarah,
the fact that she almost got her disqualified,
Sarah, that lady
before
was
the other ones
subpar.
went, is
Lady, that woman is she's not.
I'm not telling you she's great, but she did enough to rattle. And I think Fani is so smart, but that's the reason that her attorneys didn't want her to go on, because she was too emotional. She was too emotional, and she was letting out a lot of stuff, and that's why they didn't want. And the reason that they didn't listen, the reason that they did not ask her questions today, her attorneys, even though the judge kept saying, "You'll have time to explain when your attorney's question."
That they didn't have
the reason they didn't question her is because if they asked even one question, the other side can then recross, and then all 16 of those attorneys can have another crack at it. And I think her attorneys were like, there's a reason we weren't planning to call her. She did some good stuff. She got some good stuff out, but it will cause more damage to have her back up on the stand.
I agree with. I agree with that. I agree that
what they've done.
Good call to not have her back today. I agree with that. Her dad was supposed to show up via Zoom. I'm glad he actually was there in person. Antoine, you're about to say something, because I was going to add.
Yeah, because when all is said and done, and obviously I feel her pain, but unfortunately, just because of what's at stake here, you made a mistake, open this door up, and your testimony comes off as exactly what they characterize you as, an angry black woman.
That's what they want.
That's exactly, I'm a black man, and I know that's how she came off. So I understand, but getting to a point where you're fed up, it's almost like the things that we said with Wade's wife. It was like, yeah, you divorcing this nigga, you mad because he might be doing some dirty shit. But we're talking, no. What I'm saying here is she had to fall back considering the bigger picture and what's at stake. And I think, in this situation, that would have been preferable. I do understand her being angry, but we don't want you pulled off this fucking case.
Yeah,
and that could potentially happen based on what she did on the stand.
So the issue for the judge. So what's at stake? The only grounds for disqualification of a prosecutor is if the DA has a personal interest or stake in the conviction of the defendant.
Yeah.
Again, the law that is, there has to be an actual conflict of interest. The defense has to prove that conflict. And right now, as of tonight, nothing has been presented to prove
all they want to do is air dirty laundry. It's not about the actual standard.
But Sarah, and to that point, because Fani knows y'all ain't got shit, okay? Yes. And if the judge was like fully racist, crazy asshole, she already lost, right? Like, because if he wanted to find a nugget in there to go with, that was gonna be found, right? But from what I've seen, because he's the judge who's been presiding over all of it, he's been pretty
he's been really measured and fair.
We're gonna do this by the book. And so given that, I do think she did make a calculation. She was like,
that's what I was saying. She knows that judge. Like, it's like she knew what she could get away with.
But again, she knows they ain't got shit. She knows this is bullshit. This is, it's personal for me because somebody out there lying on my name. And
yes, me too. That's the personal part.
The way I want to.
Yes.
Right? Like, so it's real, and I'm tired of us having to not be the angry black woman. Wait. Brett Kavanaugh was up there huffing and puffing and fucking head in the face. He on the goddamn Supreme Court. I'm tired. tired of this.
And the Supreme Court is doing way worse things than her right now, and they haven't had any hearings. And so, like I'm saying, from the personal perspective, I'm like, I've been dealt with so many lying ass little pieces of crap. I know exactly where she's coming from. I know exactly the desire to want to go in and stand up for yourself when people are saying lies about you and telling lies on your name. I get all of that. So stakes are just so high. And I don't want to see more harm come to her. And that's all that those people want is harm. So when they bring her on the stand and they're asking her stuff that really doesn't have to do with the standard, it's like she needs to be being like tight with these answers, because I'm hearing stuff and I'm like, I don't want them to try to get them to go after her for tax evasion or for carrying too much money on a plane or whatever. Like, I don't want you on the stand saying all kinds of things under oath that maybe it would be better if you, don't say that. So it's like, I don't fault her for going on the stand, but it's almost like take a gummy or something before you go on and keep your cool and don't fall into the stereotype. Answer everything you said, but you got to do it with your Pollyanna voice, But by the way, guys, remember we used to have the what's in my phone segment? I do have this photo, and we do have, you see the guy, this guy in the scarf over here. Oh, at my finger. Oh, right there. That's John Floyd. Because this man is like, he's iconic. Killed it. I feel like he said the same stuff Fani did, but he did it like so professionally, calmly. He was like,
Sarah, I want to do a little of the comments, but he did. He had a different demeanor. So a couple things. Kale said, for the record, Wade is paid $250 an hour by the DA's office. Tony said ADAs in Fulton County make between $94,000 and $177,000. So she sounds like she might be making less.
Over 200. She testified that she's making over 200. That was in the testimony.
So then, okay, good. So I just wanted to highlight a couple of those things. Chavez said you got to be cleaner than the Board of Health when you go after scandalous and privileged people. They drag you in the sewer and drag you through the muck. So all the things. I mean, we were addressing that. I just wanted to try and highlight a couple things. Relinda agrees with, you guys, like, cooler heads prevail. She has every right to be mad, but she needed to calm down before going on stand. She has to emote someplace else. So about Pops, yes, he was calmer. But also he was noting certain things. And again, like you said, Sarah, he was saying some of the same things she was saying, but in a slightly calmer voice. And at every
corroborating her testimony. Let's be clear.
Yeah. Absolutely. Thank you. Absolutely. And anytime another attorney got up there, he's like, "Hi, counselor."
Exactly. He would be like, hello. Exactly. I was like,
"How are you doing today?
This is how we do it." That was me watching him. This is it. I was like, you need to prep Fani next time. Like, baby.
Whatever. He was like, I know my daughter. It is what it is. So I'm here in person. Okay. And then when his name is John Clifford Lloyd III. He is a former attorney. John Clifford Lloyd. Sorry, did I say Floyd? I'm talking about the third.
John Floyd.
That's what it said I pulled that from something else and they fucked up. I'm like, I pulled that from an article.
People on his name all day.
Damn. Former criminal defense attorney and a Black Panther. Okay.
My dad's friends were.
And he said, he was like, when he was talking about the whole cash thing, he was like, maybe. He said, "Excuse me, Your Honor. I'm not trying to be racist, but it's a Black thing." Okay.
Yeah.
He was like, "I was trained. And most Black people, they hide cash, they keep cash. And I was trained. You always keep some cash." He told a story about a racist incident he had in racist ass Boston. I lived there. He ain't lying. Okay. He was like, "I was trying to pay for something. I had checks. I had Amex, and I had traveler's checks, and they weren't trying to take nothing." He was like, "Well, okay, take this cash." So do you see how we've been trying to live? Like, okay, like, can we live? No, we cannot.
I didn't want him to get robbed though either. I'm like, stop telling people about your money in the house. Like,
I'm sure they gonna figure that out, because you know what's funny, Sarah, just as a side note, the dude who was the other partner guy who was interviewed later today, I don't remember his name, but he's the one who allegedly seems to have some type of engagement with Ashley. They were texting back and forth, and allegedly, like, Ashley sent him the motion in advance, and he was like, "Yeah, it looks good." Again, you backstab him. Somebody said, with friends like these, I'd rather keep my enemies. Like, yo, what's up, dude? Okay. So that guy said, oh God, see, I lost my fucking train of thought. He said, do not remember what the fuck why I brought him up. Going back to dad, when they were asking him about, did he know when he did he meet Nathan Wade? He pulled a Mariah. He's like, I didn't know that man. Okay. I met him like when I was being interviewed by a reporter. That's when I knew that this person was in existence. And just also as another funny part from the dad, he was talking about, yeah, when I came, when I moved to Atlanta, she was dating this DJ. He had a government job during the day, but he had all this equipment.
I was delighted because you guys have so much more insight into her background. I don't know anything about Fani. I only know what has been presented in the media. And so when I got off work and I had to start doing, reading and doing a little bit of research, I got to watch his entire testimony. And when he got up there, honestly, when I saw Fani's testimony, when she was explaining that the only man who had ever paid for anything for her was her father, and that her father taught her, all the things about keeping the 6 months of cash, I had a completely different image of what her father was. I didn't know anything about her father. So I was delighted when this man got on the stand and I found out he was a lawyer. He's like, I tried over 1,000 cases. I knew Nelson Mandela. Oh, I was in Johannesburg. I was just so proud at that point. I was like, oh, it's a legacy of this shit. I was like, man, this is amazing. I had zero idea. I know nothing about this man before I saw him get on the stand. So that was nice.
I think that's like why she was like, wait till y'all hear from my daddy. And I was like, oh, I'm like the most exhausted person and I woke up to make sure I watched this morning because I was like, if Fani's continuing and Don's coming, I gotta be ready to tune in one way or the other, or push record or whatever.
And I'm sorry, y'all, I'm not keeping up with the comments because this is involved, and we gonna eventually move on. I promise. There's other topics to get to, and it's clearly gonna be a longer show, so it is what it is. But a couple other things is so listening to MSNBC, like the journalists, the pundits, try and talk about this case without having the cultural touch points and the cultural understanding was very frustrating.
Really?
Oh my God! Like,
I guess you on that. Okay, yeah, because I listened to I listened to a lot of NPR. They were very respectful. They were saying this was bullshit. Every lawyer was saying this doesn't meet the standard. They kept using the term soap opera. And they actually said, they kept saying, I heard at least 3 white lawyers say, yeah, she probably was pushed. She was towing the line, but when you consider her reputation and what's at stake, you can understand why she was frustrated. It was that. Yeah. So I'm glad what I listened to was a little different from what you saw.
In sense, because one thing too was the harping on the cash part until they heard from her father, right? Until they had more context. But again, when I was saying like people not understanding how Black people live, cash on hand. I'm sorry, using washcloth.
I got cash here. Okay,
using washcloth, washing your legs, washing your feet. Okay, like we live in separate worlds. I'm sorry, it is what it is.
Well, and the 6 month thing, should not be that difficult to understand because even financial advisors will tell people who are trying to get out of debt, maybe not have cash on them, but they'll tell you have at least 3 months worth of so. Have a resource where you can cover your bills for 3 months just in case something happens. So it falls in the same vein as that. It's just with Negroes being distrustful of the establishment, you want to have it on hand instead of having it somewhere else.
There's also a class element because there were a lot of people I saw on Twitter in response to that who were white, who were like, I keep cash on hand. What you talking about? I got some cash under my mattress right now. So there's just, again, different, but because I'm hypersensitive to white people talking about things that I'm like, you clearly don't know nothing about this, but yet here you are on this platform running your mouth. Go ahead.
Sarah. It's also super understandable that her father would advise his daughter that if you're going on dates with people to also make sure you have cash because you don't need to be like anyone who's not getting that advice. I'm sorry, you need better people giving you advice because like you shouldn't be going on a date and then you end up with some toxic psychopath and you're washing dishes or getting arrested at the restaurant. So
to be clear, what that was, Sarah, I just want to highlight what that was. So a couple things she said, more quotes from Fani. She said, a man is not a plan. A man is a companion. And what Sarah's talking about is, she said, my dad always told me have at least $200 on me if I'm going out in case I need to dip up out of here. Or to Sarah's point, pay the bill so I'm not in here washing dishes or being embarrassed by your broke black ass. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So, right, you know.
But wait, I also want to be really clear. I do not like that little attorney, that woman, merchant. I didn't like her. I want to be clear on that. I just was upset. I was upsetting me that she was rattling, but I do agree with y'all. Like Fani was like, that's not what I said. Da 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 da. One of the most nonsensical things that I noted in the whole thing was, I can't even remember what they were even trying to pretend the logic was, but there was some comment that was like, she did this whole thing so that she could delay the case. And I'm like, that has to be the dumbest thing I've heard so far in the whole thing, considering that when they were like, oh, speedy trial motions, we want to go to trial by this date, Fani moved the date up. Remember? At the end of last year, and she's like, "Oh, bet I'll be ready in like 3 weeks. Like, let's do it."
That.
So the fact that they're now gonna go and try their crazy argument, this plot to like get free dinners, like I'm gonna like sleep with a guy. I'm gonna go through all this. I work my whole life. I'm gonna go through all this for like a mac and cheese, a lot with some truffle sauce. You know what I mean? And it's like, really? So now it's to delay the trial that she moved the date forward on. And the only reason the delays are continuing is because of all of y'all. But that's your argument? Like, at least try to keep a consistent, cogent argument throughout your hearing, you know?
Wait, Chavez said, I want Sarah as my attorney. She'll tell me to take a gummy while I'm on being
I saw that. I don't advise that, by the way. Just clear legally speaking, I don't actually advise anyone do that. You need to be not under the influence of anything when you testify.
Kale said she handled it amazingly well. She gave us all lessons to never mess around with strong black women. Made my whole Black History Month. I mean, you and I are on the same page.
Well, okay, let me ask you guys this. So, what I think would be, so God willing, this farce ends and we get back to the real business at hand. Oh my God. So I would not want to be Donald Trump if she is allowed to continue with this trial, because now she was a monster before. I mean, to
that point, Antoine, there was a couple times where, not that black women have not been paying attention, because we do. We literally are the backbone of the Democrat. Like, you know what I mean? Like we organize, whatever. But there was a couple different tweets that I saw. Cats were like, oh, we activated, right?
Exactly.
Like activate, like we ready, and we were already ready, but we were about to be extra ready. Like,
because Fani is like, her demeanor. It's intimidating. That's the word that I'm going to use. I equate Fani is a living, walking version of your mama catching you doing something that's going to embarrass her in the grocery store, and she look at your ass. That is what she gives when she walks in the room. She don't smile a lot. So that is already what she was giving. And now you're questioning her fucking everything.
Everything, right?
Everything. No, I would not want to be on the receiving end of her wrath. After coming out of this unscathed, he better be Ivanka better be scared. Barron better be scared. Melania better be scared.
Ivanka got to run the organization now. Wait, Carson, I want a couple of comments.
I'm gonna give us
like
we
2 minutes.
We gonna have to talk about this for an hour or like 40 minutes. So we gonna wrap it up in a minute. But go ahead, Sarah. Go ahead.
Kristen said about somebody on MSNBC. I'm like, name them in the chat, girl. Name them.
I think I know who it is. So
I know who it is.
Said that I lost respect for her because she had the audacity to say, I would have preferred she not be so angry in her response. Who cares what you prefer? I mean, here's the thing. There was black men saying that on MSNBC.
I know, but I'm like, I'm like, go ahead and name them here. All right, here's my other thing. I just want to respond to the Rolinda one. Why would she be using that cash? That one? You want to pop that up?
I don't. It's a lot. Yes.
It says, but why would she be using that cash to randomly reimburse them versus just having it at home for emergencies? I'm gonna do this as hypothetically speaking from a friend told me. So the thing is you keep a stash of money in your house, right? So when things come up, it's like, I don't want to put on pants and go to the ATM right now. So I'm going to take the money stash. I'm going to use that on what I need to pay some cash on right now. Now, next time I have pants on and I'm out in the public, I'm by the ATM, I'm going to get some more cash. I'm going to take that cash and I'm going to refill my stash back at home. So I can, like, it's like a petty cash for your house. Take some, leave some. So it's not a matter of like, oh, why would you like randomly reimburse? It's like, you take some out, you use that to pay somebody, and then you get some more and you put it back in and you refill. It's like petty cash at home.
I actually don't even mention the people in my family I know who got cash on because I don't want nobody to get robbed. But
that's what I'm saying. It's my friend. It wasn't about me.
Sarah, I mean,
I don't have no cash.
I want to finish.
Let's make your point, and then we can move to the next topic.
Okay. So another thing, but what we've talked about in terms of all this information that came out about these people that I'm sure nobody wanted to come out, right? Like just win with somebody, sleeping with somebody. Like this is just a mess. Also, the fact that Nathan was fighting cancer in 2020, so he wasn't dating nobody. He was trying to like get his stay alive. Okay.
Yes.
I didn't even know that part. This gets crazier and crazier.
Yes.
Okay, information that was coming out. The other thing that came out, and this is where I'm a little bit mad at Lawrence at this point, and I fucks with Lawrence O'Donnell, but I'm like this in this instance. So last night he was on there. He's like, but he took forever to do his divorce. Why would you take forever to do your divorce? What was that about? So Nathan addressed some of this, right? He was like, look, in 2015, my marriage, it was a wrap. I was free to date whoever I wanted to from 2015 on. He said, me and my wife decided we gonna stay together until the last kid is about ready to go to college. Okay, that was an agreement we made, right? What I didn't know is his wife had an affair. That's why the motherfucking marriage broke down. Mm-hmm. So Lawrence over here saying shit. I'm just like, you don't know why that man was dragging it out. Maybe the wife was trying to get more money. He's like, bitch, you cheated on me. I ain't trying to give you shit. You know what I mean? Like, you don't know. You don't know.
And again, at the end of the day, none of it is relevant when motherfuckers trying to steal an election. It has nothing to do with it.
To that point, Antoine, why are you even over here running your mouth about why he didn't get a divorce finalized when he should have gotten it? Like, come on.
Y'all should have saw the comment. Y'all should have saw the comments on the videos. I had to stop looking at them. You know, everybody covered it. And so you have these stations where the audience is kind of like a Fox News audience. The shit they were saying about Fani, about her father, calling everybody liars. And I'm like, why is nobody stating that none of this has to do with the people you guys respect trying to steal an election?
So again,
in conclusion, her going on Dutch vacations with dude, even if you can think of all kinds of reasons you don't like it, it doesn't amount to her amounting from benefiting from the conviction of Donald Trump. What about her banging this guy who she's no longer banging means that if Trump is convicted, there's no like, oh, every fuck equals extra money in my pocket after the conviction. I'm sorry, I swore. No, it has nothing to do with it. It's only for humiliation, intimidation, hatred of Black women, bullshit, deflection. And they're going to make a bunch of messed up ads with quotes from the thing that they take out of context. And that's it. It's just bullshit. It has nothing to do with it. And I hope the judge sees that and that we go forward.
I think he does. Because again, at the end of the day, right now, they don't have the evidence they need to move forward with this. So right now, even though this was a messy, I actually am relatively optimistic. Because the other thing too is if they disqualify her, basically that means it's a wrap. Because then they would have to like appoint a whole new team, la 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 la. And I'm like, that would have been an egregious waste of time, resources, money, like this has been going on for almost 4 years, like in terms of how much time has been put in. And right now there's no cause. There is no cause to disqualify her. And again, I'm just want to add, just make that point. People are like, I wish she hadn't. She did. Okay. She fucked a man. It is what it is. We got to deal with where we are right now. Okay.
You and I have similar floral patterns tonight.
I know,
that's
right?
really interesting. It's the same color.
Y'all, when I saw you, the first thing I thought is, did they coordinate their outfits and what the hell?
No, I wasn't even supposed to wear this shirt.
I just have on my substitute teacher shirt. Y'all remember that Key and Peele kit? Jay Quellen, Balake, D Nice, A. Aaron, Timothy. Yeah, y'all are coordinated.
I've seen that one. I haven't seen a lot of Key and Peele, but I have seen that one.
My favorite. One of my favorites.
I wanted to highlight Chavez said he was headed down to Fulton County once he said everybody keeping cash in their house.
Chavez is like, we ride out at dawn with our money bags ready.
sorry. And then Chavez also said Barron don't like his daddy, so don't worry about that, Antoine. I was trying to find CJ's comment because basically she said Sarah is a brilliant lawyer and we love when she's on. So I just wanted to highlight that. But
I appreciated that.
I don't know where it's at. So sorry. It's a
I
lot.
saw the comment and my heart warmed and melted inside me a little bit.
Yeah. So I'm sorry, y'all. I knew because I've been chopping at the bit to talk about this for the last 2 days. So because again, as I noted, I got somebody out here lying on me, and if I can
we all do. It's like part of being a Black woman. Apparently, I got a lot of people lying on me right now, and it's like that's what I got for all of you.
You know what, Sarah? And real talk, like what people just don't understand, like other Black people understand what it means when you lying on other Black. They understand what the possible repercussions of that might be, but other people don't, and you want to kind of tell them we don't do that. When you do that, there are certain consequences that can come with that, okay? Especially certain neighborhoods, like that's a step to you. What you out here with my name in your mouth and talking bullshit? Like, well, like that's a whole different look. This is why I'm not in real corporate America, because I cannot be.
I'm about to leave it because I don't belong there. Because I'm like, look, it's not even appropriate. I'm like,
I know. I'm just sorry.
Make up for life, whatever.
So,
you know what I mean?
On some funny shit. So, Piles. What's the rapper's name? Piles.
Plies.
Thank you. I was fucking this up.
The one that look, he's Kirk Franklin's twin.
Yes. Plies. So he has a hilarious video. I'm gonna try and drop it in the comment section. He is declaring his love for Fani, but he keeps calling her Fanny, and he's like Fanny.
I can't stand that.
I don't care. It's funny. It's
like the Fanny,
but he keeps saying Fanny and the Willis. He's like, he ain't never in his life been this turned on, especially by not by no prosecutor. He is smitten. He said, I got to see about you, okay? And then today he was like, all right now. He was like, man, she ain't gonna be on the witness stand today, man. He was like. He kept saying, he was like, all right, now I'm gonna find your ass. Don't make me come at you. Like, he's turned it into an expression. It's a really funny video. So just wanted to mention that. So, right, moving on. We will be. Donald Trump. Speaking of, the reason why we even got this case going on in Georgia as it is. So he's been ordered to pay over $350 million for committing financial fraud. And he's banned from doing business in New York for 3 years. The Suns, Thing 2 and Thing 3 are banned for doing it for doing business for 2 years. So, just the judge said,
dumb. Sorry.
I mean, and yeah, no, you're right. The judge said the Trump's family's complete lack of contrition and remorse for their extensive fraud and egregious financial misconduct borders on pathological. He continued, overall, Donald Trump rarely responded to the questions asked, and he frequently interjected long, irrelevant speeches on issues far beyond the scope of the trial. His refusal to answer the questions directly, or in some cases at all, severely compromised his credibility. So, a couple tweets just on some at Roger Zen AF said, I guess Trump should have kept some cash around the house.
That's the best one. We loop in.
At Mark Hamill said, maybe he can get Mexico to pay for it. So there was a couple more, but yeah, just if you guys want to chime in on this insanity that happened today.
Well, I mean, so now he's got a judgment for $350 million plus the other one for E.J. Carroll.
$355.
So $355 plus 83 from the E.J. Carroll case. So
and the interest.
Oh my God.
They put it up. It's $550 million total with those two put together.
Oh my God.
Because like Crescent was saying almost $500,000, and I was like, oh Lord, he over $500,000 now. It's official. He had $550 million now.
Sorry, go ahead, Antoine.
Yeah, because I noticed, he finally shut the fuck up. He kept E.J. Carroll's name out of his mouth because it's like it started getting a little too expensive going out there on True Social, dragging her name through the mud. It was costing them too much money. But how did y'all? I've never completely understood how appeals work. So he's appealing all of this, right? What happens when you appeal it?
So, I mean, Sarah can chime in, but I remember from the Eugene Carroll case, for that appeal, I think he has to post a bond, which I don't know if it's the entire amount, but it's a decent portion of it, so that just in case you lose the appeal, like the money is accounted for.
Oh,
yes,
that's correct. For that one. Now, for this one, honestly, I imagine a similar.
Well, like, what? But just real, if you can just quickly, I don't understand.
CJ may know, but go ahead.
Yeah, because I'm just in my mind, I'm like, we go through this process, we spend all these taxpayer dollars, there's a judgment, you lost, and then every time, at literally every single time, whoever the loser is, they say, we plan to appeal. Does appeal mean that you're gonna send it to another court and have them look over everything and make sure there was no funny business or something? I don't understand. Why is that allowed?
So the appeal, it's different for different states and like federal and states and everything like that. But it's like, if they really want to appeal, like one of the first things you do is you file a notice of appeal that you're planning to appeal the case. And there's timelines on that. So if you don't file your notice of appeal timely, you might not even be able to go through with the appeal. And then the actual appeal, there's like different things involved. So depending on what your standard is, like a lot of times the standard isn't like, oh, they messed this and this up. It's like, did it mess up your life? Like, did it have any real impact? You know, like, okay, so they said red instead of blue during the trial. Does that change the outcome? Is there actual like prejudicial, harmless error? Or is this just like some random thing that actually means nothing when it really comes down to it? You know?
Okay.
So that's pretty much, I mean, that's like the basic Friday Night Lay description. But yeah, I mean, there's
so based on you guys, you know, what you guys know about what has happened with these two cases, do you think he has any foundation for a genuine appeal where he might not have to pay the money?
Here's the thing, Antoine. When you're trying to appeal something, one of the things you have to do during the actual lower court trial is preserve your record for appeal. So if you're not making objections and preserving your record and everything throughout the lower court case, you may not have any grounds for appeal in the first place. You need grounds to appeal. You can't just appeal because you feel like, I'm mad I didn't win. If there was like, I'm mad I didn't win, every single person could literally appeal. So you have to have grounds.
Right. That's what was so confusing. It seems like everybody appeals. That's what it seems like.
Also, keep in mind,
rich people and celebrities.
Because that's key, right? Because that's the other thing too with his appeals is it's still a delay tactic. He's just trying to avoid
absolutely
actually, right, like getting a legitimate judgment or conviction handed out. Like that's a part of it. But to your point, Antoine, in terms of like the money, a lot of people, first of all, not even just like you got a lot of money, but he should have settled. He should have made plea agreements. Like there's a bunch of things that should have done, but because he got you motherfuckers who support him just continue to pay his legal bills, you know, hey, fuck it, he gonna keep it pushing, right? Because all this costs money. There's mad legal issues out there.
Like cost money
all over the country that is out here fighting these losing ass battles for him. And like Sarah said, yeah, you can appeal, you can try, but especially about the appeal stuff, with, for example, the DC case and what that appeals court, they went through such a thorough analysis of any potential argument. So it's possible the Supreme Court might be like,
no,
there's nothing.
That's the thing. Like, they don't, not just because you want to appeal, it doesn't always mean your case is going to be heard. And a lot of times, like you can't just go straight to the Supreme Court on everything. Like if you don't have something that's an issue of first impression, you have to go through the different courts and you have to exhaust all your remedies before you can even go to the Supreme Court. So because we've never had such a criminal president who literally like does insurrections and like commits 8 million crimes and has 8,000 different indictments against him at a time, every single effing thing relating to Trump is basically an issue of first impression. So it comes down to, does SCOTUS want to say, well, he put me here and this was the plan 20 years ago when all the conservatives had secret backroom Zoom meetings, so I'll do whatever he wants? Or do they want to say, God, I would really not like to be in the history books as somebody who just calls themselves a conservative, says that they care, they're a textualist, they care about the, you know, Constitution and all this, but now I'm going to ignore it completely and just do whatever Trump wants. So if they have even like a little lick of integrity left, a little modicum of integrity left, I think that's why the DC appellate court gave such a very thorough decision on what they did, because it's like, do y'all really want to waste your time and pretend like we didn't already handle this at our level? Do you want to just affirm us and keep it moving? Do you want to refuse to take this up? Or are you going to take this up and pretend like it's something? And it's like, are you going to take it up just so you can affirm it and make that precedent? Or are you going to take it up so you can do what Donald Trump wants you to do and be a friggin' puppet? That's what we all need to know.
Sarah, in this instance, particularly with the Supreme Court, Alito and Thomas, they're going to do Alito and Thomas. Like, I'm not expecting a lot from them. But
we need to make a combination love name for them, Alito and Thomas.
We do. We need that. We need to come
work on that.
Yeah, let's brainstorm. So, but I will say this: Kavanaugh, Gorsuch, Amy Coney Barrett, like y'all. If Trump is mad at you, so what? You have a lifetime
appointment, baby.
Right? Like, y'all, look, which most of us are pissed off about. You got a lifetime appointment, ma. Like, just do what's right. Like, you know, like, what you gonna lose?
Like, are you really gonna say that presidents can do whatever the hell they want?
Toledo? Wait, Toledo?
Oh, that's
it. Sounds like the city of Toledo, but Toledo.
I like it.
Oh, okay.
Thomas and Alito. Toledo.
Okay.
I like it. I'm with you, Antoine.
But I was like, we talking about Ohio now? I'm sorry.
It's catchy because it sounds like Toledo, but you're saying Toledo.
I'm with you.
Okay. Like Bennifer. Right.
Tony said he didn't do what Diddy did quickly, right? Diddy
yeah. Yeah.
Did not.
Okay. So a couple more quick tweets to read. At Brian Claus said, so they want the guy who can't even legally run a hot dog stand in New York because he committed fraud to run the most powerful country in the world. This is what I'm talking about. And Eric Swalwell said, he said, perhaps a man who has been judged a rapist, fined $355 million, barred from doing business in New York, impeached twice, facing 91 felony counts, should not be president. And left out, found guilty of sexual assault. Okay, like that's why. Why do y'all want that dude as president again?
He went on Truth Social immediately after and just said a bunch of bullshit like this, blah blah blah, and a lot of people made a lot of money, and that's what's important. And it's like that. That doesn't take away the fact that you lied to get a bunch of money that we're not allowed to lie about to get.
Yeah,
you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The judge changed his initial decision about this, because initially it was Trump can't work in New York for 3 years, the sons can't for 2 years, and then they were like, nah, we're gonna appoint people to watch you. And I'm so happy, honestly, that they switched it up, because when I read the part about just Trump and his sons, I'm like, they're gonna get Ivanka and Jared to do the bit. They could be like, hey Ivanka, I know you haven't talked to the family in 2 years, and I'm like, I don't know if y'all know the Kevin Bacon game, where it's like anything that's within 8 degrees of separation of Kevin Bacon. 6
degrees of separation, yeah. 6 degrees of separation.
Yeah. So I was like, we need a law that's like anyone that's even within 6 degrees of separation of Trump can't do a business in New York, because he'll just find a patsy to do all the illegal stuff for him if it's just him and his sons.
Well, so it sounds like he's also been moving things to Florida, whatever. Him and DeSantis can do whatever they're gonna do. I will say this: the judge also has some commentary for Ivanka. He was like, "Look, Ma, okay, girl, you claim you don't remember this, you remember that, but the written record says otherwise. So you ain't trustworthy either." Mm-hmm. I love him. I like that judge. Okay, moving on to more silliness in transracial activist news. So Rachel Dolezal renamed herself as Nkechi Diallo. And I'm gonna say this. I'm mad about this because I have a friend named Nkechi and I'm offended on her behalf because why? Ew, gross. So she had gotten a job as a teacher in Arizona's Catalina Foothills Unified School District. She also, as a side hustle, has an OnlyFans account.
That's a strong sister right there. That's a Nubian princess. She just light skin. She just light skin. Let her live her life.
She about to box braid her hair right off her head. Like, you got to be careful, girl. You got to be careful. Your hair wasn't made for all that. You got to be careful.
Do y'all remember them? I don't know if everybody had these shoes, but when I was in grade school, some of the Italian gym shoe makers became big, like Fila, Lotto. Yeah. There were these Lottos where the logo on the side, when you bought the shoes, it came with the logo in like 6 different colors, and you could Velcro the Lotto logo on the shoe to match your outfit. That reminds me of Rachel Dolezal. She liked the Velcro Lottos that you can interchangeably switch the color on to match your outfit.
Oh God. Wait, Crystal said her ass can braid though.
I know, that got me. I was like, look, you know, I'm not
She is good at braiding.
I'm not gonna take that. Because it's like
You can't run a chapter of the NAACP and not know how to fucking braid. You got to throw off the scent.
Well, not as a fake, a white woman faking to be black. You got to have something to offer. You know, you got to learn some fried chicken and braiding or something. Like,
wait,
come on,
Antoine. Jason had another name for you.
Sergio Tacchini.
Serge.
Also, wait, Chavez said he has the Lotto. Stop laughing.
Oh no, I love Lottos. I had British Knights. What Lottos? What's another one? Elise. I had the Elise in every color.
I had those. I didn't have it every color.
Where my case was. Sorry.
So the school officials said they had only just learned about the OnlyFans, and obviously they're like, her posts are contrary to our district's use of social media by district employees policy and our staff ethics policy. And it was a Bossip article, and as ratchet as Bossip can be, they had their shit together though. Bossip was like, I mean, mind you, we covered a story about her OnlyFans account back in 22.
That's my favorite part of the article, Crescent, where they're like, I mean, y'all could read like
they were like when she was honoring Rihanna's Savage X Fenty by posting steamy shots. Then they said, to your point, Sarah, they were like, one simple Google search would have brought up.
Bossip need to stop. You niggas are not real journalists. Stop acting. Y'all got one right. Y'all look, and whenever I didn't go to Bossip, because when you go to that site, the ads just destroy. Chrome be like, I'm shutting down. It's too much. It's too much happening. It be TMZ ads. It be cocoa butter. Everything be on that fucking site.
Oh, and cookies. Don't let you have gone to Macy's. They gonna have trailing your ass. Go ahead. Sorry, Sarah.
No, as far as I'm concerned, that's the whole point. Like, we're not even real journalists, and y'all could have run a Google. Y'all could have run a Google. We did this 2 years ago.
But can I tell you something though? Because look, when I'm putting together show flow, I'm jumping past like there's certain. I go through a lot of different publications so I can find one that's going to contain, I think, as much information as possible. Also, an article that's not too long. So what I've learned is though, Bossip will cover like different elements of something that like other places are not doing. And so I'm just like, well, look, and I'd be like, sorry, you gonna get these cookies and these ads.
there's a reason boss is in the title, okay? That's it. All right. Yeah. It's so like Bossip or boss up, bitch, okay?
I am not mad at y'all, Bossip. Continue to do what you do. Thank you. And them headlines are a work of art. Like that's art right there. Okay, so I know we talked about Monique a lot, but Monique, another one with some quotables. So one of my favorite quotes from Monique is, see, when you do clownery, the clown comes back to bite. Okay.
Wasn't that on the one, it was Charm School. It was Charm School, wasn't it?
I couldn't remember which.
Yeah, it was. Monique had a show, Charm School. It was in the same vein as like Flavor of Love and I Love New York. Yes. Yeah. That's what that clip is from.
I think it was kind of a spinoff of those, Antoine. It was.
A lot of
the women who were on those shows, and it was like, I gotta clean y'all up because you wearing bonnets in public and trying to date Flavor Flav, and I gotta clean you with. That was basically the premise of the show. Was like Monique there to remove the bonnets. It was like a bonnet removal episode ceremony TV show. I didn't watch it.
I will say this. That particular clip though of her delivering that line is hilarious because she's like, when you do clownery and like her whole mouth and the face. Anyway, that's that.
I enjoy a made up word like clownery. It's
perfect. It's greatness.
Just go into it. Lean into
it. And that clownery news part one. So the GOP, as y'all know, House in particular, has been trying to figure out a way to impeach Joe Biden and drag Hunter Biden through the mud. As if Hunter Biden don't have legitimate charges out there against him. Like cats are like, we got this. Y'all don't need to jump in on this. We got him. whatever. House GOP is trying to do whatever they can. So they kept saying, oh, we got the goods. We got this FBI informant and, Burisma and like $5 million. And this is da-da-da-da-da-da. And like literally they said Hannity talked about this like at least like 85 times, right? Like they all on Fox News, like we got him and y'all don't know what we know. This motherfucker a fraud. Okay. Alexander Smirnoff. Is that like, I kept thinking about like,
it smelled like Smirnoff, like the vodka. Yeah.
Yeah. I was just like, okay. So he got arrested in Las Vegas on 2 counts. One count is facing making a false statement to a government agent and falsification of records in a federal investigation. And shocker, he don't like Biden. So, it's a wrap for him. And there's Elise Stefanik, who used to be an actual legitimately intelligent person, but has since lost her mind. She was one of the ones who was like, this is the biggest political corporate scandal, not only in my lifetime, but I would say in the past 100 years. Like, girl, no.
That Ellie shit needs to sit the F down. I can't.
Yeah, they've been, to me, they've been obsessed with this man and their laptop for I don't know how many years. And I just feel like if there was a smoking gun, he would have been in jail. Like you don't. And to find out, because I didn't know, I read further in the article, this guy was a big part of, him being proven, his statements being proven false pretty much means they didn't have anything to begin with.
Nope.
Pretty much hearsay. And now we get, we find out that he was lying. They didn't have anything. They don't have anything.
No. And that's what, there's some neighbors at home who I adore. And they'll ask me certain, questions about like some of the stuff that's popping off. I'm like, they ain't got shit. They don't have nothing. If they had something on Biden, he would have never made it to the White House. Trust me on this. They ain't got nothing. They can't impeach this man. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I'm so mad at Karen.
Wait, I didn't see. What did Karen say? Is this a new? Wait. I just don't want the show.
You guys are saying serious stuff, and I'm over here cracking up, and I'm like, "Thanks, Karen."
I saw the video. I saw the video where it was him and this Asian woman, and she was giving him a foot job. She was using her feet to jerk him off, and she was like, "I didn't even know my feet could do that."
God, I can't.
Oh God.
And under smoking crack while she's doing it, like it's wild. It's wild.
Wait, why did Jason say? Turns out there's no hot dog on that Hunter Biden stick. I'm done. I'm done with y'all. I'm done with y'all in the comments, except for like, wait. Chavez said no. Change name to Chavez Hennessy. So again, if you're new to the flow, Chavez will be joining us next week. FYI, Antoine. Chavez.
Oh, fantastic!
Yeah. So I'm trying to line people up. Yeah, it's a couple of y'all in the chat. I'm coming for y'all. Don't worry about it. Okay, you're gonna get a text soon. So there's more clownery news. Clownery news part 2. So DeSantis and this whole like culture war book banning nonsense has resulted surprisingly in chaos. Who could have
really?
So confusion and anger as Florida has banned the highest number of books in the country from schools and public libraries, right? So Florida teachers and libraries are potentially face felony charges and up to 5 years for carrying unauthorized books, not the boots. I can't.
That's just what they'll do. One of these days, these boots are gonna walk all over
the boots. How are those back?
These boots are made for walking. I wanna eat meatballs. I wanna eat some.
How has he not gotten like a Wellington endorsement? I mean, that just shows what a loser you are.
Wait,
somebody.
Go ahead.
There's an image and I couldn't get it to fit right. Somebody extended the boots so they go all the way up like hooker boots. Oh my God, I'm gonna show y'all the image next week. It's to die for.
Wait, that's why you said eating meatballs and eating pudding with his hands. Remember that one?
Yeah, meatball run. But I'm sorry. I took away from the story.
Okay, I want to clean up. Jason wants to know, by the way, I made my comment before y'all mentioned Hunter being naked. He was like, I was referring to the non-case. Okay, so. Yeah, so Tony said too. Tony said the pics of him shoveling food in his mouth are better to me. Right, so Antoine, you got some pictures to pull for next week, okay?
I got y'all.
Oh my God. Jason said this nigga and he's Astro Boy pushing boots. Oh my God.
man.
So as people, as Democrats, as like reasonable people pointed out, they're like the statute is incredibly vague, making it impossible to know any particular book that violates it. And the other thing too is anybody, anywhere, anytime can complain about any book, right? And so now he's trying to walk it back. He's like, I mean, if you have a kid in the school, okay, but if you don't have a kid in the school, like I don't think it's appropriate for you to be like saying shit. Because, and also now, somebody pointed out, Florida is now facing record teacher shortages, complaints from parents and administrators, right? And now because you are no longer running for president, long lost, terrible cause that was never going to happen. Now you're back in your state and you're like, oh, what have I done?
Yeah.
The funniest thing is it's literally bill writing 101. Like, if you know anything about, like, I don't know, the Constitution, First Amendment, all these things, like, you need to have something that isn't vague and ambiguous. You need something that is like clear. You need something that for a random lay person, if they read the law, they would be able to understand what actions would be breaking the law and what actions wouldn't. So it's like you literally set yourself up so bad. And now you look like an idiot because all the things that people said, you can't do this. You're going to have random batshit crazy people coming out of the woodworks, showing up to schools while they're childless and talking about, oh, I need to get rid of like Parent Trap because there was sexual innuendos and whatever kind of random crap. And it's like, everyone told you this. Everyone knew this because it's literally bill writing 101. But you're like, I'm running for president. We're going to get rid of books altogether.
Sarah, you said starting to look crazy. He was looking crazy when it was
happening. Did I say that? Starting? No, he been looking crazy.
Yeah, he's been crazy.
I'd rather Riblett be running like, for president and running Florida. I mean, let's be real.
Okay. Sarah, CJ said, tell us about your cat, but I'm not letting us get derailed because we're not.
No, you're not getting derailed. You guys can see her, but listen to Cusset talk while you look at her.
That cat is adorable, but we're going to keep it pushing. So
keep going. She can amuse the people while you talk.
I have a header called The Future That We Want. Okay. This is how I'm trying to run with this. All right. So we talked about this on Wednesday about, from the Congressional Budget Office, the headline is the U.S. economy will grow an additional $7 trillion over the next decade as a surge in immigration creates a larger labor force and increases demand for goods and services. Also, more workers means more output, which also means additional tax revenue. So one thing I wanted to highlight from it, because like I said, we talked about it a little bit on Wednesday, but we didn't spend a lot of time on it, is large portions of immigrants coming to America are in the prime working ages of 25 to 54. Mm-hmm. And also, one big strength of immigration is we avoid like demographic time bombs of other developed countries like Japan, which is facing economic challenges because they have a massive aging population. Mm-hmm. And I think I said this on Wednesday. There are states who are like, hello, we need some more people because our populations are aging. So, this whole scary, oh my God, all the migrants, oh my God, immigrants, like, there is a benefit. And yes, we need to figure out how to better structure this, but we don't need to be just like straight up shutting the border down indefinitely. That's not the answer. So I just want to highlight.
Well, the immigrants are the wrong color. That's what the problem is.
Thank you, Antoine.
They speak too much Spanish.
You know what's crazy is like this stuff isn't rocket science. Like, are you
none of it
is that like immigrants work more than people who live here? They either moved here for a better life and they're literally like trying to get the fastest job they legally or maybe not even legally can get so they can not only take care of themselves but send money back to their families at home, because that's what most of the watch 90 Day Fiance. This isn't hidden information. You know what I mean? They're trying to send money back. You know what I mean? So it's like, and if it's not like, people who are low income who are trying to survive, then you know what the other people are? They're literally, like I met this person before. They're literally somebody who created a battery that's as thin as a strand of hair. And the government went through everything they could to bring them here from Germany in the country of America, because like, you're basically a genius and you created something and we want you here so we can make money off of that instead of Germany. So it's like, they're either like a genius who we like beg to come here and they're going to make money, or there's somebody who came here for like a better life and to do all these things and they're going to make money. So it's not really like hard to like kind of understand this stuff. It's really
Sarah,
not.
a lot of this stuff is not rocket science. It's not. It's just like, what can we use as a wedge issue to like whip people into a frenzy so that they vote for our crazy shit. Like, it's really not. So, and also continuing in the future, we want more opportunities to qualify for student debt relief. So again, I think Biden was waiting to roll this out till like around, closer to like election. So I'm gonna take it right now though. I can never say that word, but if you're facing like financial hardship, they're who might be likely to default in 2 years. That's a lane. These factors include are not limited to a person's relative loan balance and payments. Other considerations are like if you have high cost unavoidable expenses like paying for childcare or healthcare, right? Like things that should be taken into consideration as you try to pay back some of these massive ass insane student loans. Also, there's an interest reset. Loans that grew larger because of snowballing interest might be eligible for like a 10K or 20K in relief, depending on your income. Older loans, again, you could get your entire balance erased if you've been repaying your loans for at least 20 or 25 years. And that one was already in existence, but it sounds like they're actually trying to tweak it like a little bit more.
Do it.
And then also low value programs. Basically, if you went to a for-profit bullshit ass school that didn't leave you with anything that you can actually like try and get a real job on, they're like
Trump University, for example.
Well, I can attest. But a couple years ago, I did, and I was on an income sensitive repayment system, plan rather, and if you don't remember, that came from the Obama administration. And so when they showed me my payment, I was like, oh, I can handle that. But under some of the new things that we are getting under Biden, when they finally showed me what my payment was, I was like, oh, I'm Gucci, nigga. I am Gucci. It was about 35% less than the original number. And I was like, yeah, that's because of Biden. So yeah,
Antoine,
I'm very happy.
Antoine, we've talked about some things that's been going on with me this week. Yeah. A bitch is about to hit up them student loan people and be like, so we need to do an adjustment.
Yeah. They've been they've been working with me. Like a nigga is good for a forbearance. So yeah, I've never defaulted on mine. So so I'm good. They work with me. So
same. I'm just gonna get some more work in with them. We gonna work together a little bit better.
That Lisa's comment is so funny. The one about like immigrants doing work that like no white American will do. I saw a meme on that recently that was like, or a tweet or whatever, X, whatever you call shit, and it was like tweet at yeah. And they were like, I have yet to have one of my white friends tell me that, like, somebody stole their job, like picking fruit in the fields. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
that's what we're like
so crazy.
On Wednesday, when cats are like, oh, I'm scared about the migrants. What job did they take from you? Are they in your corner office right now? Like, are you serious? Like, stop it.
Yeah, that's just that's just the plug. That's the plug. It really means we don't want no brown people.
Don Beck said forbearance on tap. And Jason, of course, has more jokes. I went to the bar.
Not Barbara's eye.
I
made an underwater welding.
Not Barbara's
I did underwater basket weaving myself.
Yeah, like wildness. Okay, and I got one more. Again, the future we want. Justice for Alcorn State University. So I don't even know how I came across this article, but I was like, oh, look at this.
I don't either, to be honest.
More fuckery for Black people. So over the last 30 years, Mississippi State has shortchanged Alcorn State and HBCU, in case you don't know, over almost $300 million in agricultural funds from the federal government. Sorry. So U.S. Secretary Cardone and U.S. Secretary Villac wrote a letter last September. So in an act of 1890, hey, Jim Crow era, what's up? How you doing? So in order to establish a second land grant college for the purpose of creating racially separate colleges, a state must distribute federal land grant funds equally between the institutions. So that didn't happen. So Mississippi and 15 other states were like, equal, we'll see. So U.S. states have robbed historically Black land grant colleges as a group of about $12.6 billion over the last 30 years.
Hold on. This is what threw me off. They needed to clarify a lot. I don't. What's an historical land grant college? I've never heard of such a thing.
I wasn't sure either, but I know Alcorn State, like the agricultural element of it, like, so I didn't know exactly what that meant, but baseline.
So is it like anything with A&M in the name? Those are land grant. See, that's why I couldn't. I knew in order for me to completely understand what was happening, I was going to have to do some extra research, and it was way too much happening with the Fani case for me to do that. Yeah. So yeah, I didn't understand the article. I tried to.
He must have been a good student, because I learned how to just read between the lines and make the rest up as you go along a long time ago.
So quickly, Wiki says a land-grant university is an institution of higher education in the U.S. that is designated by a state to receive the benefits of this Act of 1862 and 1890. So I don't know. We'll spend a little bit more time trying to figure out exactly what that means. Sorry, because I'm trying to read really quick. Actually, it sounds like most land-grant colleges became large public universities that today offer a full spectrum of educational opportunities. So
if I can offer the most important part of the article is that
that's what I'm getting to.
Oh, go ahead. Yes, I'm sorry.
Well, no, I mean, I think is what we were already highlighting is, so in this instance, Mississippi State basically kept 92.2% of the fucking funds. Okay. That's the issue. And right now it's easy to, so in this article, they're talking about how it's easy to see that Black farmers and Black communities have been underdeveloped and undersupported because monies that were literally designated for us never made it to us. So there was a lawsuit filed in 1975. There was a settlement, and then they just went back to doing the shit that they were doing. So, but when I say the future we want, this is even only being looked at because of the Biden administration. Those cabinet secretaries are like, we are looking into this. So if Trump fucks around, get back in office, that's a wrap on that.
Yeah.
Right.
So Sarah, for me, the thing that should stand out the most in the article is the fact that this grant was put into place before the, Mississippi State University was even a school.
Yes.
So Alcorn State was a school. It was the one, it was doing agriculture. Another major state school decided not to do it. And then they started this new school and doing it. And it's like, again, I mean, this is a different context, but if you want to kind of use the analogy of the Constitution and originalists and all that stuff, it's like at the time the grant was made, only one of these two schools was actually in existence. So for you to even try to say that it makes sense for this other school to take basically 90% or whatever, 90% or more, let's be honest, because they have to reconfigure it a certain way to get Alcorn to 10%. So if they don't do that, it's less than 10%. But even if you want to do it in the light most favorable to the other side, you're getting 90% of this grant that was made when your school wasn't even in existence. And a school that was in existence is only getting 10%. And I can imagine all the bad arguments because I'm so used to racists at this point. They would say, this Mississippi State's a huge school, though. There's a lot of students there. Yes. And Alcorn might have been a bigger school. And Alcorn might have had bigger agricultural opportunities had they been receiving more than 10% of the grant that they were supposed to be receiving at least 50% of at the time the grant was put in place.
Sarah, I mean, you're right. Look, and you're right. The elements of it, the factual information, right? Like this one school was in existence before the other school. Yeah, but that's just it. When racist white people decide that they want to take your money, take your land, do whatever the fuck they want to do, that's what they do. They don't give a fuck about right, wrong, facts, whatever. It doesn't matter, right?
They will jump through fiery hoops all day long to justify what is irrational and illogical and not sensible.
So, and Antoine, there was a story about a Black family that did get reparations, right after the Civil War, that I was going to drop in here, but I was like, we already had too much going on, so hopefully Monday. But it also shows how that family's legacy, that life, their doctors and lawyers, and but they got this money that they should have gotten in the late 1800s, right? Well, 60s, whatever, and able to
it changed
carry,
their lives. It changed the lives of their descendants. It gave them at least a shot at generational wealth. Yeah.
Right. So again, please don't ask why Black people are angry. Please don't ask that. Because we got reasons to be, okay? Because when I hear this like shiftless and y'all lazy and y'all do X, Y, and Z, I'm like,
no, we know that's not true.
I mean, we know it's not true, but I'm just like, I'm blindfolded, hands behind my back, feet like together, and you talking about run.
Yeah, the sad part is that, human nature is human nature. It runs across every race. So you disenfranchise somebody, you're going to have some negative side effects. It doesn't matter what color you are.
But again, but Antoine, deliberate disenfranchisement. Yeah. Like very much so.
The implication that we, that because of the color of our skin, we react to things, we react to negativity in a different way is just, is really far-fetched.
Well, we angry, okay? And we calling your shit out. Once again, Chavez is noting that I did have a few opportunities to have my student loans paid off had I just, acted right.
True.
Oh my God.
No lies detected.
He said that, I was like, what's if she got with those random celebrities who were trying to get with her?
I'm not saying I have regrets. I'm just saying maybe, could have made some other choices. That's all I'm saying. Maybe. Okay, whatever. Jason said, my wife just suggested that we start a class action lawsuit to get the modern day equivalent of our 40 acres and a mule. I mean, hey,
got me in.
California trying to give us a portion of it, so we'll see. California been coming through because California, didn't we get 2 stimulus checks that nobody else in the country got?
Oh, I don't know. I remember there was 2. I thought everybody got 2. Everybody didn't get 2?
No.
If you qualified.
State of California had 2 stimulus checks. I got both of them. Yeah, outside of the federal one. So yeah. You did have to qualify for it. I think if you're at the time if your income, as a matter of fact, I think the California one was staggered. So the amount changed based on your income. But it was nice.
Hey, yeah.
And I'm such a nerd. I definitely thought you were talking about like Bruce's Beach and George Fothery, like getting that family their money back. I was like, yeah, we're trying to do a little something over here, a little something.
Yeah, outside of that, but yes. Hey, George.
Hey, George.
So moving on to Black History Month. And Franklin from Peanuts is finally getting, like I said, some respect on his name. He made his first appearance in the newspaper strip in 1968, which was actually, interestingly enough, prompted from a request by a teacher in the wake of the assassination of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. So they're like, can we get some Black faces up in here just to kind of, look, hey, we see y'all. I don't know.
Did y'all see the trailer?
I didn't get a chance to watch
the trailer.
Oh, so the trailer is cute. In the trailer, Franklin is introducing himself to Charlie Brown, and it's funny because Charlie Brown initially, when Franklin offers his hand, he looks like, damn, is that shit gonna rub off? Did you see the look on his face?
I'm looking at it right now. Yes.
There's this pause, and it's hilarious, but it is very well done. I am definitely watching this.
Oh, God.
The other scene that stood out when Charlie is getting to know Franklin, they're like in his garage, and I forget what they're about to do. And Franklin pulls out his favorite record, and it's a James Brown record. He says, "Oh, we're finna listen to the Godfather song." And then he looks at Charlie, he goes, "Are you guys related? Because both of their last names are Brown." It was cute. It was cute. It was cute. It's well done. I was pleasantly surprised. Pleasantly surprised. You know what? Peanuts gets it right though. Peanuts gets it right. They're pretty inclusive. Yeah.
So they the special it recreates their first meeting. So as Antoine noted, and like I think he finds a beach ball, he brings it back to him, and they start chatting like kids do. So and as Antoine noted, Franklin's introducing Charlie to different aspects of Black culture.
Yeah. Really quick. Speaking of animated television, if anybody is a fan of the X-Men, if you watch the X-Men animated series, they just released the trailer for the revamp. Well, it's the original X-Men animated series It came out in the late 90s, and it
Oh,
was
yeah.
a lot more true to the original stories in the comic book than the movies. The original X-Men movies did terrible adaptations of the Phoenix Saga and a lot of other things that are just Days of Future Past. Days of Future Past actually wasn't that bad. But the animated series just did a really great job, and then it ended. Well, since Marvel got the rights back from Fox, they're bringing it back, and they're continuing it using the same animation style and voice actors that were from the original. So they just released the trailer, and the first episodes drop in March. And I'm a comic book buff, as you know, and there's a lot of color in the animated series. Storm, you got Bishop. Trying to think of some of the other people that are escaping me right now, but yeah, I'm very excited. Excited.
Don said Storm was a baddie, y'all. Cable was her baby daddy in the cartoon, so you got
Storm. Wait, Storm. Wait, no. Cable is not Storm's baby daddy.
I don't know.
Cable is Scott Summers and actually Madeline Pryor's son. But at any rate,
Tony said he just watched the trailer while he was waiting for us to get started. So
it looks good. It looks good.
Well, I don't have much to say about Franklin other than, for me, the thing that stood out the most was he mentioned in the article, they mentioned that like it went around very virally, the whole thing where it was like, why isn't Franklin at the table with everybody else for the Thanksgiving meal or whatever? Because there was that image that went around where it's like all the Peanuts characters, and Franklin was over there by himself, like that kid got to sit alone. And so they were like, we got to address this. That's not what it was meant. So I'm over here reading the article. I was getting all souped up, like they finally gonna tell me like the thing behind it. They're gonna tell me he's claustrophobic or something. Like they're gonna give us some reasoning. And then they were like, we just go like in this special, he's gonna sit at the table with them. And I was like, I thought you had like you made it feel like you had a big like explanation for stuff.
You're trying to like you wanted a bigger explanation for that scene that you saw, because they made it
seem like there was one, and then they were like,
what they do basically in the trailer, it shows that given his background, he comes from a family that moves around a lot, so it's always been hard for him to make friends. And I guess they finally settled down, and they show him trying to connect with the Peanuts characters, and it's very awkward. And then finally he connects with Charlie Brown. They form a friendship, and then the other ones kind of come around. And then towards the end, because you get all this from the trailer, you know how the day the trailers give everything away. In the end, because he is now, everybody's acclimated to him. They're learning new things from him. Towards the end, they actually, because initially he was sitting by himself. You see him maybe at the beginning of the trailer, and you see them, and they say, "Hey, Franklin, we saved the seat for." It's so sweet. It's so sweet.
Okay. Also, just to be clear, his father's in the service. They wasn't just moving around because whatever.
Oh no, yeah. It wasn't like they would like robbing banks and shit. He's a military brat.
Yeah, that part.
Okay, I get it now. It's like the article wasn't maybe like as like flowing as they wanted to be, and it felt like they were like building up to something, and then there was nothing. It's like,
no, it's well done. And what I've noticed lately is I really wanted to, and I had alternative, I had ulterior motives, but when I watched the video, I was scared to do it, but I said, let me see what the fuck these comments are saying. And the comments are turned off.
Oh, wow.
The comments. Sometimes they turn the comments off on children videos, but it could either be for that or because some people may have an issue, but I don't know anybody would have an issue with this. Leave
it to a bunch of racist cavemen to get offended by a black cartoon character and come out of there from underneath from their rock to
I'm tired.
Fight on it.
I'm tired. So Don said he thought Pigpen was black when he was as a kid.
Yeah, hey, you gotta find it where you gotta get in where you fit in,
Right. And I'm gonna just say this, Chavez and Tony, I saw y'all comments of whatever, okay? Just whatever. Harassing me about I could have got I dropped the bag and like whatever.
Not that again.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I'm like, I see you. It's okay.
Oh, trust, Chavez will remind you of it when he's on the show.
Every time
he always does.
I know. So yeah, so we'll hey, like us if you're watching right now, like the video and subscribe if you haven't. Tell a friend to subscribe. We'll be back on Monday. I was gonna mention that we're gonna talk about, but I don't know. We've talked about a lot tonight, and my brain is tired. So, Antoine, you got any parting words, Sarah?
No.
Okay.
I'm like,
I've said plenty already.
I'm like, Riblet loves you. That's the cat.
Oh my God. Thank you guys for watching. Oh, today I would tell Coco to come over here, but she's lame. Today's Coco's birthday. She's turned 4.
Yes, Riblet says happy birthday to Coco. That's my parting words.
Oh my God, it's been 4 years.
I know.
That doesn't even feel actually we need an audit.
Hold on, one second.
Yeah, we used
Libby,
to
come see Coco and wish her happy birthday.
I remember we had an episode not long after I got Guinness, because I have 2 cats. And my black cat Guinness and Crescent, we filmed the episode. It was me, Tina, and Danielle. It was when I had the orange couches here. And I thought I was going to have to give my cat to somebody else. This nigga was crazy for about a year.
Oh God.
And I remember I had to ask some people, I'm like, do they calm down? And they were like, he's definitely going to calm down. This cat is so fat and lethargic now. Sometimes he tries to jump on shit and he falls.
Oh my God.
It worked out.
So yes, Coco has a friend visiting for her birthday. This is Kylo, who just
That is so cute. Riblet wants to wish Coco a happy birthday and say hi to her and Kylo. Hello.
Okay, I know. Okay.
And lick me because she does that out too.
I tried. So, okay, all right, yes. Okay. So yeah, okay. So thank you for watching.
Our furry friends love you too.
Yes. I'm sorry. What's your cat's name again?
This is Riblet. Riblet Mellow Meow. It's like peach honey. She's my little cutie pie.
Beautiful. He's absolutely beautiful. Okay. So Antoine, you end us
right now.